Thanks for listening to our daily Bible reading lesson. Lesson today is check it out. I remember a time whenever I was studying with an individual of a cult, the Mormon religion, and whenever I started to talk to him about proofs of that religion, why I should believe that, he said, "Pray to God and ask if it's so." Well, I told him that I prayed oft times, and I never got the answer that the Mormon religion was true. But I told him there was a different thing that he could do regarding the Christian religion. Check it out. In our reading yesterday, there's a question that was sent to Jesus. You find John was in prison, and in the book of Matthew, the 11th chapter, it says, "When John heard in the prison the works of Jesus Christ, he sent two of his disciples and said unto him, Art thou he that should come, or do we look for another?" In other words, John was having concerns about, here he is in prison, he hears what Jesus is doing, and doesn't seem like anything's changed for him. And we could talk about whether he was right, wrong, whatever, but I'm glad that he asked that question. In the next two verses, it says, Jesus answered and said unto them, Go and show John again these things which you do hear and see. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, the poor have the gospel preached to them. In other words, he gave John proof. He said, you go tell him what's going on. You've checked it out. Now give him the answer. Today, sometimes we have doubts. We get a little discouraged at times, but God has given us the ability. Jesus, we're not going to send a messenger to him, but Jesus spoke about in John 16 that the Spirit would guide those individuals unto all truth, that truth which we have. And we find in the book of John, the 20th chapter, verse 30 and 31, it says, Many other signs truly did Jesus in the presence of his disciples that are not written in this book, but these are written that you might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing you might have life through his name. Are you beginning to get a little weary? Is that really Jesus? Check it out. Go look to that word that we have, and you'll find the answer there. It's that truth that we can know. John 8 and verse 31. In the book of Acts, the 17th chapter, this new gospel was being preached and spread. The apostles stood up and began to preach in Acts 17. And you know what happened? In verse 11, it says, These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, and that they searched the scriptures daily whether these things are so. Are you sure about what you're hearing up there from that pulpit and that Bible class from that friend? Check it out. God's given us the ability. Again, look to his word. It's no wonder that he told young Timothy in chapter 2 and verse 15 of the second epistle he wrote to him. He said, Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing or handling aright the word of truth. And that's something that never stops. We face obstacles, we face struggles, we face discouragements. But like John, we need to ask, are you who should come? Is that you, Jesus? Is this your word? Is this the way? God's given us the ability to look unto his word and find those answers. It is the power of God unto salvation, Romans 1 and verse 16, because it testifies of his Son, our life, our hope. I pray that you and I have a good day. We will have discouragements, but we'll overcome them if we check it out. Thanks for listening. Thank you again for joining us in this Bible study. We remind you, if you'd like to follow along in our daily Bible reading, the link below in the description of this video will give you the PDF so you can read right along with us. If you have any other questions or if you'd like information on a Bible study, contact us with the information provided on the screen before you.